I wanted to show you guys little do's and don'ts about oil line running. Here's the first don't. Never zip tie to a sway bar. This is moving back and forth like this all the time, and also doing this. You know that metal is harder than plastic, right? So what is that going to do eventually after years and years and years and years? Yeah, you're going to have loss of oil pressure and fuck up your engine. The next one is, you know, it's pretty tight up here, but getting it close to other components, zip tying it to things where, once again, there's no abrasion protection, and it's just going to be doing this all the frickin' time. What, if you can't notice, what is that motion doing? Seesaw? One word in there, named saw? Yeah, it's going to saw it. That's what it's going to do. What about when you're running through a steering rack and it's got numbers or raised features, and bosses and ribs like that thing right there? Another horrible idea. Now this is a C5 Corvette, so bear in mind they're tight as can be. Here we see the correct thing to have done, using heat insulated lines by the headers. But the issue is the way, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but they're wedged in between the engine mount and the engine without being pinned to anything or tied to anything. So once again, what are you risking? You're risking your entire engine pinching your oil lines for no reason other than sheer laziness and lack of creativity. It's pretty wild. I don't know why so many customers think that this is the way. I mean, I do, because they're lazy, but yeah, this is my tip to y'all. Just think it through. And I mean, dude, there's holes right here. Could you not have made a bracket that did hose clamps? Then it would be, you wouldn't have had to pin it to your freaking sway bar, and then it would be down from the steering rack not getting hit, and then on this piece of abrasion plastic too, so that now those two things are protected from abrasion. I also would have been running some sort of hose sleeve all the way out. I usually run it all the way through just because it acts as an abrasion resistor. Whether Kevlar or aluminized fiber, or aluminized Kevlar, they also make aluminized fiberglass. Then the other ones are, of course, the silicone coated fiberglass. They're all going to do about the right job, and then if you don't care about heat insulation, this stuff is pretty decent too. You can get all that on McMaster car. Y'all stop going to these silly places to get your stuff. Be smart about it. Use Google and go to the second page, for God's sakes. Like, this is, you guys are spending money on stuff like this, and you're installing it wrong. Like, what makes sense about that? It's the same thing as the AC coming to your house and installing a system you paid 20 grand for, but they installed it wrong, and now it's gonna fuck up in 5 days. Like, y'all gotta think about this. These are car parts, these are moving, complex things, and the engine's bucking every which way, right? So you gotta think about that when you're moving around. And what about road vibrations? Doing this. Do the shake test to this stuff. Y'all are gonna save yourselves a lot of headache if you do these things and plan, and, you know, look for the factory holes that are already there all down most of these new cars, because these are modular designs these days, you know? So, yeah, be smart.